Dreadbull,
Yo,
how are you?
pretty good. How are you doing?
Good. Excited about this Karl Sanders coming back on the show, man. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, we get a little redo.
Yes. Yeah.
Although we've got a few interviews under our belt.
Yes. Seasoned veterans now.
Yeah, right.
Mhm. How's it going, Chop?
All right, gentlemen, how are you?
Mr. Top, what's up?
Not much. I'm ready for a return of mighty KFS.
Yeah.
Because I seen a clip. It was on Facebook or whatever, and they're back in the studio finally working on a new Nile album. So,
Yep. Oh, I definitely want to ask him about that.
Yeah, I got some questions about his Saurian series of his instrumental stuff, his side project.
Yeah, he's got a new one.
Learned a little more about that. I'm like, oh, this is really interesting. Actually, I was listening to that first one today. Like, this is great, like background music. That's good stuff to have on if you're just doing something creative. That's freaking awesome. There's some really good stuff on that. It's really
that's the first thing I want to ask him
a
about.
lot.
Carl, how are you, man?
all right.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well.
Great.
Yeah, so good to see you all again.
Yeah, you too,
Oh,
man.
thank you so much for coming back.
Yes. Welcome back to the show.
You just never know sometimes.
Yeah. This is better than football on Sunday.
Damn straight
right.
it is. We're entertaining, man. That's right. Yeah, we've got a great show for you lined up. We got a lot of fun, and we're just grateful that you're going to spend some time with us. So thanks again.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah,
we appreciate the redo. Yeah, you were our very first musician that we ever interviewed on this show. So.
Very first big rock star. No, seriously, we had just started.
Oh.
We were only in about 8 or 9 episodes, I think.
Right.
And because it was during the pandemic, and that's when I contacted you because you were doing guitar lessons. So I'm like, I'm gonna ask Karl if he wants to come on our show, and yeah, you were the first one, and we've been hitting it big, doing it ever since. It's kind of been awesome.
You guys seem to have it completely together when I saw you. So
well,
awesome. We kind of felt like we were kind of bumbling and a little dumb, but hey, great.
Yeah. No, it's
we're doing a little
great.
better now.
Yeah,
we've gotten to interview dozens of musicians now over the last year and a half. Now we've been doing this, so
yeah, it's been pretty amazing. So
yeah, we were very honored to be able to interview one of the last interviews, Eric Wagner. And
wow,
we've had
that was just tragic. I mean, just in July, just like a few weeks before he passed, he was just getting ready to go on tour, and it was just just horrible. I'm a huge Trouble fan, and from way back.
Right, the Skull.
I know, right?
Great record.
Yeah.
And he was such a great guy and a fun interview. We were having some technical issues, and he was so cool, just hanging out, and he didn't bail on us. It took us a while to work everything out.
Yeah, and that's when we switched over to Zoom, which has been life's so much easier than that horrible fucking Discord.
We all our band meetings on Zoom. Like 5 minutes ago, George was in Athens. I was here, and the guy we were talking to was in Baltimore. Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. The technology is just great. Allows us to come together like this. It's amazing.
We're living in a Star Trek episode.
We really are.
That's it.
Yeah.
Before we get going, Karl, how much time are you able to give us today? So I want to make sure we structure our show around that.
Well, shit. What did we write on the calendar? 1 second while I pop open my calendar.
If we got a strict time limit, we just want to make sure we
respect that.
We don't babble past it.
Well, I got from 4 to 5 with you guys. So,
okay, excellent. All right, well, let's begin, and we'll get to it. We got a brand new game that we're going to be playing with you today. So I hope we get to it.
This wasn't my idea either, so don't look at me.
We got some good stuff. We got a lot of games. We got a pretty fun format, Karl. We're going to have a good time.
You guys look like you play some dangerous games.
Yeah, that's it.
Dungeons and Dragons, you mean?
This danger's our middle names. That's right.
In the danger zone.
All right, well, let's get into it.
This is Matt Thompson from King Diamond, and you're listening to Heavy Metal Horror.
I am Montag, master of illusion. What goes up must come down, but not always.
Hey, this is Chop Top, and this one's going to be nihilistic, so stay happy.
And Dreadbull.
And you are watching and listening to Heavy Metal Horror. Oh, kiddies. We've got a great fucking show tonight. It is the triumphant return of Karl fucking Sanders. Oh, Karl. Welcome back to Heavy Metal Horror, man.
Thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, for the longtime listeners, they know, that you were the first big rock star that we ever talked to, and so it is really nice to have you come back. So let's get right into it. You have a new album out, Saurian Apocalypse. It's dark and brooding. It's very atmospheric. We all like listening to it. We all enjoy it. I kind of call it like death metal's answer to chill beats. So what inspires you to create these sonic albums, these musical albums?
I like to chill out. Right, but if I want some chill out music, I need some that's like Lovecraftian.
Mm-hmm.
It's got some dark, exotic elements, some sci-fi, some, Frank Herbert, wrapped up in there somehow, some way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so just normal chill out music just doesn't quite do it for me. I got to make my own variety. The kind that, alligators, crocodiles, they were chilling out. What would they listen to? That's my audience.
We're a bunch of reptile-brained audience. That's probably very accurate.
That's
There's a
excellent.
great scene in one of the Cheech and Chong movies where girl goes into the kitchen and there's a pile of Ajax on a paper plate, and she, of course, snorts the whole thing and turns into a reptile.
Excellent.
I remember that classic.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead, man.
I just had a question along that same that the Saurian, like what is now a trilogy of albums, has this underlying story. You talked about it, these reptiles and this apocalypse that happens. So it's these are instrumental albums, not necessarily need a story to go along with them. Or do you, as a writer of music, does that help you lock into the kind of music you're writing? And
Yes, that's so well said. It helps me frame the songs, like, since they're mostly instrumentals, the human voice is just used in strange ways. Like, the thing that helps me write it and have a direction and a path is it has a story. It's a concept. Something happens, right? And because I have that underlying, story beneath it, for better or worse, I've got a script that I'm scoring, for an imaginary film, like theme for an imaginary Western, old Leslie West Mountain song, right? Theme for an imaginary. Well, this is like theme for an imaginary sci-fi movie, but it helps coalesce like the pieces. So in my mind, they're organized and they're telling a story that's coherent in my mind. To other listeners, I'm sure the experience is probably different for anyone listening, but in my mind, I see the whole fucking movie as I'm writing it.
so could you lay out for people who are not familiar with the story, sort of the general story as it's gone through these 3 albums of what's going on there, underneath?
Well, this the first record was more or less meditation music for crocodiles. and it came about because my kid was, like 5-ish, 6-ish. And one of the things that we enjoyed doing was going to the alligator and crocodile farms while visiting down in Florida. right? So I don't know if you guys ever been to an alligator farm, right? Looking for
no alligators in
recognition
Ohio.
on anybody's.
Yeah.
We're all
Okay.
in northern Ohio. No
Well-
alligators.
But if we
Alligator crocodile
farm.
farms are great. It's like a big farm. It's all swampy and wet. You know, there's lots of water, ponds and whatnot, but also pens, you know, where they keep hundreds of crocodiles and they breed them, and you can come and visit them. Like, it's kind of like a zoo, except they're all, you know, wandering around free, you know, and you're kind of elevated so that, you know, you're not actually mixing it up with them like a petting zoo. It's not like it's more like an observation zoo, except there was this one of the ones we went to, it was near Gainesville. No, near Jacksonville, sorry. And they did a thing where every day at like 2:00, same time every day, at the edge of the pond, they would open up the gate. It was, you know, they got a big fence, you know, so the alligators and crocodiles stay in the pond. They got a big fence. They open the fence and take a wheelbarrow full of steaks, raw steaks, cut huge, you know, like 30-ounce steaks, right? A whole wheelbarrow full, and for $20, you can stand there with the wheelbarrow full of steaks, toss them to the fucking alligators, and they all know. They all come same time every day, show up there, there's 20, 30 of them, all piled right there in a pile, mouths open, going, feed me the steak. So you're at arm's length from 10, 12, 14-foot alligators and crocodiles. So it's one thing to observe an alligator from a distance. It's quite another thing to be arm's length and their mouths are open. And if it were just one, it would already be terrifying. It would raise the hairs on the back of your primordial neck because you realize, oh, you know, this guy could fucking eat me. He can outrun me. He can outswim me. If he bites me, he's getting something, an arm, a leg. Yeah. I'm not getting out of this, right? But when there's 20 or 30 of them that close to you, dude, every hair on the back of your neck will fucking stand up. It's like a rush like you've never had in your fucking life to be that close. Predators, nothing in between you and them. Wow.
Hair standing.
I really felt a lot.
Out.
So the best $20 you ever spent, in other words, right?
That's $20 I ever spent. My kid throwing steaks right to the alligator and they go, and this one wants one, and this one wants one, and yeah, it's a blast. Nice. So okay, so we're heading out of the crocodile farm, and when we're observing them and they're chilling out and they're resting, like floating in the water, laying in the sun, doing whatever, like if you look in their eyes, they seem to be not there, as if they've teleported their souls to some other dream vista or some other dimension or somewhere. Because you look in there, they're cold reptile eyes. You can feel the ancientness of them. These guys have been around for, 100 million years. You can feel that. Right? If you got any sensitivity at all, you can feel that when you look in their eyes. So I started wondering to myself, okay, what does a crocodile dream about? When they're going to this faraway place, what's on their mind? What are they listening to? I'm going to make meditation music for crocodiles.
Did you ever bring the music down to the farm and play it for the crocodiles?
They don't pay royalties, so.
All right. I've seen videos of people playing like violins, and then the cows all come to them and things like that. I thought maybe you could be like the Crocodile Whisperer.
That would be a great idea for a video. I'm totally stealing that.
Sure, no problem.
See, if I needed people to show up for the shows, it's hard to sometimes find your audience. I got a built-in captive audience.
There you go.
Right?
And a wheelbarrow full of steak. So, yeah, nice.
So at that point, had you already started working on music that would become the Saurian stuff? And this idea kind of just
right
like
in the midst
suddenly,
of it.
okay.
Mhm.
And you just thought this is the perfect idea to kind of.
This is how I finished the record, right? I only had like
Okay.
4 songs at that point, and kind of a vague idea. Well, what do I want to do? But then it coalesced. Now I had like a purpose, right? And now it's specific, right? I've got some kind of path to guide me, right? And that was really cool, right? So Saurian meditations, it's meditation music for crocodiles, and it's been around a long time, in my mind, right? It's been there since the earliest days of humanity and before. So it's really ancient sounding music.
Mm-hmm.
And it uses chord progressions that, lizards would have thought of, not people. Right.
Nice.
So yeah, Saurian meditation. So a couple of years later, when I had, Saurian exorcisms. Okay. Well, what is that? That would be like if you spent too much time listening to Saurian meditations and you spent too long dwelling in there. Well, now someone's got to come and pull you back out. You're going to need some Saurian exorcisms. Right? That's why the girl on the cover of it, who's clearly in distress and need of help, and there's all these spiritual reptiles surrounding her, lizards, beasts, dinosaurs, what have you. It's their spirits that have possessed her. That's why she needs the exorcism. So don't spend too much time listening to ornamentations, or this is what will happen to you.
A cautionary tale. Did this happen to you? Did you spend too much time in the reptile?
In a manner of speaking, if you spend too long meditating in alternate dream, altered states, I think it's not necessarily healthy. I think a limited dose of transcendental experience is all any of us really actually need. Everything in moderation.
Yeah, those albums definitely have that vibe to them. And you talk about ancient. Those capture that vibe a lot. They sound ancient, like really, like some distant past power from the past. That's what those really evoke when I listen to them. So, and that's cool.
One of
I love
my
that
mom's
stuff.
friends, he's a minister out in New Mexico, and he has this crazy thing. It's not too different from the David Icke conspiracy theories, but what he believes is the long dead spirits of the Earth's first masters, the dinosaurs, their spirits are still lurking around, and they hate us. They really think we're no good for this planet. No, mankind's come along. We really don't deserve to be here, and we're fucking the whole motherfucking place up for everybody else. So they're kind of malevolent towards us, although they're not necessarily malevolent in the grand scheme of things. They just hate us because, well, we're vain, selfish creatures who think we're the most important thing on the planet, and we don't mind fucking up our world for everybody else. Not that I'm a fucking tree hugger. I'm not a leftist climate nut, but you know what? We could do a whole lot better job of taking care of our planet than what we're doing. So they kind of have a point.
Mm-hmm.
They're not totally wrong. Right? These dinosaurs that are mad at us, right? They're long dead spirits. They're lurking around. They're not totally wrong.
So the royal family aren't shape-shifting reptiles, you're saying? It's not quite that deep?
If we were to look at our world leaders today, it would be hard to successfully argue in court that they're not actually lizards in disguise. Go by their action. And I don't care which side of the aisle you're on, Republican, Democrat, they're all inhuman reptiles who don't give a fuck about any of us.
You make a point.
Well, I'm going to steer the conversation away from the wonderful albums onto some of the things that we'd like to talk about.
Oh wait, I've got one more with the Saurian stuff. Sorry.
Okay.
I guess one follow-up. You had mentioned when you were writing them, you have this almost a movie going in your mind, as you're writing these things and you're picturing this stuff. Have you considered any kind of like multimedia releases along these lines with this story? Movie, novels, graphic novels, or animated? I think some kind of animated thing would be great to go along with this. Have you considered anything like that?
I think this is cool as an animated movie.
Yeah.
While I was working on the record, I realized that there was so much to these stories that it was more than just album lyrics or even liner notes on an album. I just started writing, and every song kind of corresponds loosely to a chapter in the book. And it turned into a 50,000 word short sci-fi novel.
Oh.
I did 2 drafts. Yep. Michelle Mercado helped me with some of the writing. She's actually a better writer than I am. I'm a totally novice writer. I can write great metal songs. That does not necessarily mean that you're also much of an author. So I might have a good story, but it's a whole art. I think more respect should be shown to the great writers of our time.
Hear that, Dreadbull?
He said great. He said great writers.
Oh,
I
well,
heard every,
but you would
I
never
heard every
know.
word.
You never
heard
know
every
how
word.
great my writing is. You don't read it.
I have read it. I just couldn't make it through.
You got to sell more than 10 copies to be a great writer.
I would if my friends would buy them. I didn't. No.
Okay, look, now we're derailing the show.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, Montag. You can take it from there.
Well, Nile just got off this really great tour, Karl, and that's what we'd like to talk to you a little bit, ask some questions about touring life. And so, what is your favorite food to eat while on the road?
Steak, duh.
From
Well,
the
there we
Gators.
go. I guess the Saurian calls for the steak.
Raw steak.
Raw steak.
Well, I like medium rare.
Okay. Pretty
On our
close.
day off, wherever we are on this planet, if it's our day off, the one thing that we do together is when we meet for steaks and drinks on our day off. No matter what city we are, what country we are, we find a steakhouse. It's our one little thing that this band does. Go eat some motherfucking steak. And you know what? For a while we had a bass player whose girlfriend told him he had to become a vegetarian, right? So this became an issue, right? He couldn't eat steak anymore. But he did show up and he would eat a salad and he'd look at us longingly sad. Steak.
Hope that
Yeah.
relationship didn't last very long, right?
It did not.
Okay.
It did not.
So it's a happy
Yeah, no.
ending for everybody, right?
Win-win.
You can't eat salad in front of steak eaters and be happy.
Yeah, get
No,
that
you
rabbit
can't be
food out
happy.
of my way. Give me
No,
that.
Be happy.
Have salad, before the steak, right? You order your steak and they bring the salad 1st, and then you get your steak and potato.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's the proper place for a salad to manifest itself.
Because steak is following.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
You got it figured out.
Why we have
That's all
canines and
figured
rending teeth really mash up that lettuce. Okay, Karl, what is the most outrageous touring story you can share? I know you don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but you gotta have some crazy road stories, man.
I do. I'm just trying to figure out what's okay to say.
You can say
Right.
anything.
I know I can say anything, and I'm often guilty of saying anything, but I'm trying to find something that's at least an NC-17 rate kind of.
We
Okay,
we're on
share.
unrated show, so
We're not family friendly.
we're
so
not
it's
family
fine.
friendly in the
No.
slightest.
Kids beware. Yeah.
That's right.
Story time.
That's right.
Um, wow. Wow, so many to choose from. Yeah, do I choose like the adventure story? Do I choose the pain and suffering story? Do I choose the violent story, the sex and the drugs stories?
Well, you got like almost like a full house. So I mean, just choose which one you think would be the most fun to tell.
The most fun to tell. All right. God, now we waited so long. The buildup is just unbearable.
Yes, it better be
yeah.
good.
Okay. All
Don't
right.
let us down.
Yeah, come on, man.
Let's go with death and mutilation stories. So it's like 1999, maybe 2000 or so. Black Seeds of Vengeance, so it would have been 2000. And we were touring, and it was an underground tour, and we were playing, I think it was Milwaukee, no, St. Paul. Milwaukee at the Inferno. I don't know if you guys ever been to the Inferno back in the day, but it was this in an old ass motherfucking building downtown. It was a dead of winter. Snow piled up like 8-9 feet outside. The room where we were playing in the Inferno, the snow was piled up on 3 sides of the building of that floor, right? Because it's on the roof. It was the top thing, is the roof and the building. It was really old. And it was really run down, really shitty. They should have never put a show there because they were trying to cram 300 people into a room that should have held 75 or 80. Well, there was really, really, really poor wiring in this building. It was awful. The kind where everything you do, you get fucking shocked because nothing's properly grounded. And for those who are familiar, if you're playing the electric guitar and it's not properly grounded, you might be okay. All right. In perfectly dry, safe circumstances, you'd be okay. But as soon as your hands are touching the metal strings and you touch the metal grill on the microphone, which is on a different power system, because that's the PA. It's not the same power loop as your electric guitar. So you become the shortest path to ground for not just one electrical system, but 2. Right? And if you're in Europe and this happens to you, it's 220s, not just 110. You can die from it in Europe. But here in the States, it's just 110. Okay. So because there was, snow piled up, 3 sides around this building that we're in, as soon as you put 300 people in a room that's only big enough to hold 75 or so, the temperature goes way up. Well, anybody who's ever had a cold drink on a hot summer day, condensation occurs. So during the show, the walls are literally dripping with condensation. The carpet is soaked. We're soaked. Everything is soaked. So we went to go play the show, and the stage is only like this high, right? So fans are right in your face. There's no barricades. Totally underground show. Never should have been in this venue. Anyway, so everything's hot, wet, sweaty. As soon as we got close to the vocal mics to sing, like this far away, the electricity would jump. It would be just enough to a warning jolt to go, oh, I better not do that again, right? And we were young and stupid, right? So we kept going, and we just said, hey, guys, stay back on your vocal mic. Don't go right up on it, because I'm getting shocked, you're getting shocked. Yeah, I'm getting shocked, you're getting shocked. Yeah, all right, well, stay away. Well, it was a metal show, right? An underground metal show, and there's no barricade, there's no security. So half the time you're distracted, wondering if you're going to get run over by stage divers, right? So you got these distractions going on. You're trying to play Nile songs are not necessarily easy songs to play. There's super fast drumming, fast riffs, tricky vocals. You got to be really fucking focused. So that's where our brain is. We're trying to follow the drums, do our fucking jobs, and we make it a couple songs through, and then it's time for Ramsey's Bringer of War. This is a fucking tricky ass song for me to navigate because of the way the vocal arrangement is and the moves that I got to make on my pedal board all in quick succession. Like I pull the volume pedal back as I'm singing to hit the stop, and then there's a split second I have to hit my lead boost button as I put the volume back in and as I do the scream and start the solo. So it's total focus. I'm juggling all these things like this. Right. Well, the way I normally did it, I could look this way down at my hand and look there while I'm singing and have my pedal in my peripheral vision that I got to hit, because I got two of them. It's got to come off the volume pedal and then back on the volume pedal and hit the lead boost. And I always did it by leaning against the microphone and just keeping it right here. That way I can see, because I'm leaning over and looking that way. It's just habit. Been doing it for, years at this point, playing that song live. So it's a fucking habit of set in stone. Well, you will do on stage what you've done in practice 100,000 times, and what you did on every night touring for the last couple of years. You will do it, whether you mean to do it or not. So I leaned onto there. As soon as my mouth made contact, and it was wet as everything was, dude, that shit lit me up.
Oh.
The next thing I was looking up, Chief was leaning over me going, dude, are you all right? Are you all right? And I was kind of foggy. I was like, and I'm laying flat on my back. Guitar is just laying there. It's fucking ringing and feeding back. And band is stopped. People are all gathered around. There's fucking cameras coming out. And there's cameras in my face, right? And so Chief stopped the show, and I was woozy for a while after that. I couldn't have played anyway. But the thing about it was, those little video cameras that came out, people were filming me being electrocuted. And somehow this way, electrocute and then put the video on the internet. It's kind of a horror show.
Oh, man.
Kind of a horror show.
How long were you out? Was it just a little instant knockdown? Did you come right to, or were you out a while?
Probably 5-10 seconds. It was out at the most, but it was groggy and stupid.
Oh, wow.
I might still be stupid. Who knows? But it was words were not easy to form. I was okay.
No, in the movies, you would have gotten a superpower from that.
Yeah.
Right.
You should have gotten a better, inhuman death metal vocal, screech or something from getting zapped in the lips like that.
Well, it would be, yeah. There should be a reward if you go through some bullshit like that. There should be a prize at the end, but it's not how it works.
Nothing, just got filmed.
People
and
the
put on there.
prizes and cracker
It's a good
jets or shit anymore. Yeah. Well, that kind of answers my what's your most spinal tap like moment on tour. So that kind of takes care of that one too.
Totally.
One more question about touring, because we like to find these things out. What is your most interesting or quirky request on your rider? I mean, special food or drink? Do you have flowers like Mariah Carey? I mean, what do you have on your rider that says, yeah, we're fucking Nile?
We ask for simple shit like food and water, towels. Really extravagant requests that, sometimes that's even too much for them to provide us with. Sometimes we're lucky, we get after show pizza if we're lucky.
If it's one thing we've learned, the riders are usually very just practical, like, things you need to kind of just survive and get through the day kind of stuff.
Yeah, we're a meat and potatoes, bottles of water. We used to have liquor on the rider, but it turns into, if you give a bunch of band guys unlimited amounts of liquor and like all night in which to drink it with no responsibilities until the next day, a surprising thing happens. People will drink whatever they got on the rider that day, however many bottles it was, right? It expands. It expands to fit whatever it was, that's what gets drank. So whether you have 1 bottle of liquor or 10 bottles of liquor, 1 case or 5 cases, it all manages to get drank. So we took it off the rider.
Yeah, that's not conducive for a long tour.
Yeah.
Well, now if you do another Saurian album, it could be Saurian Electrocutions. There's another one.
There
for
you go.
Possible,
Trilogy.
That's right. The quadrilogy. Yeah. All right, Carl. We're gonna play our first game with you, and this game is called Blast Beats. I'm going to ask you a simple choice or a simple short answer, and I just want you to answer as quickly as possible. All right.
All right.
Okay. Hot dog or hamburger?
Hamburger.
Favorite pizza topping?
Sausage.
Paperback or Kindle?
Paperback.
Of course. PC or Apple?
PC.
Favorite streaming service?
Fuck.
That's a good one.
Netflix.
I like that one. That's what
Stumped him.
Okay. Favorite ice cream flavor?
I was just all of them. You guys, did you see the Streaming Wars South Park episode?
No.
No.
So
Okay, all right. I won't interrupt the game. Come on, let's go.
That's fine. Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Star Trek or Star Wars?
Ooh. I'm a child of the Star Trek era, so
Bigfoot or Loch Ness Monster?
Loch Ness Monster.
Universal or Hammer?
I don't know. It's a toss-up. Universal.
All right. I was going to ask their best mummy, Karloff or Lee?
Karloff.
All right. Your favorite movie snack?
Popcorn. Duh.
Favorite subject in school?
World history.
Your least favorite subject in school?
Science.
All right. And
I'm
you're
good at science fiction. Science.
All right. And your favorite scene from This Is Spinal Tap?
Oh, man. When he says, "What's wrong with being sexist?"
Nice. All right. Got another game for you. This one's called the hot seat. And this is what I'm going to name a band, and I want you to tell me your favorite album by that band. Now, we've had a discussion on our last show. We had our Desert Island band. So some of these I took from the list because I know some of your favorite bands or albums by these bands. But here's a list. All right. Judas Priest.
Sad Wings of Destiny.
Scorpions.
Virgin Killer.
Overkill.
Overkill.
The Queensryche.
Queen of the Reich, the EP, the first one. It's the only one I fucking liked.
Motorhead.
The live albums, first one I bought.
Carcass.
Surgical Steel.
Dio.
The first one, isn't it called just Dio?
Holy Diver.
Holy Diver.
Okay, Holy Diver.
Metal Church.
Metal Church.
All right. Opeth.
None of them.
Okay. King Diamond.
This is why this is called the hot seat. It's agonizing.
Yeah.
The choices.
I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to say Merciful Fate, Don't Break the Oath is my favorite King Diamond.
That's fine. That's fine. Anthrax.
Amongst the Living.
Okay.
Mhm.
Megadeth.
It'll either be Killing Is My Business or Peace Sells. One of those two.
Okay. I've got two more. Kiss.
Hotter Than Hell.
And the last one, Nile.
Oh, well, my favorite is Violent Athletic Rights. Hands down.
It's a great album. Great fucking album. All right. Hot seat. Nice. Nicely done. Now, this game we're going to be playing, it's a brand new. I know Dreadbull's got some hesitation on this one. So if there's any problem, I'm happy to absorb it. This is called Concert Banter Karaoke. I'm going to play. You can choose between. We got choice between two artists. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a clip from them saying something in a concert, and then I want you to like say that back, pretend to be that person saying that in the concert. Does that make sense?
I think I
Okay.
do.
All right. So your choice. You have a choice between classic
Wait,
Paul
can we do
Sanders.
Wait, before we start, could we do an example run? Like, Montag, I got you up here, and Dreadbull's down here, and Chop Top, you're down the bottom right. Could you do one, and Chop Top shows me how it works?
Okay. Well, say Chop Top, why don't you do something from Ozzy Osbourne from Speak of the Devil? Maybe introduce.
Okay. Well, speak of the devil, like he has his one man, he goes, "Keep on smoking them joy."
Yeah. So you get the spirit, right? You want to kind of capture the spirit of the performer and the performance.
All right, so I'm the performer. Like, I would be Ozzy introducing that song, or I'm in the audience yelling out.
You're going to pretend to be the performer doing this, like your best imitation of this performer.
See, I knew this was gonna happen.
It's great. It's gonna be great. Your choice.
Rich Little could do the shit out of this, right? Because like he does it, or maybe Dana Carey, right? Dana Carvey, Dana Carey, Carvey. Yeah, he could do this game. He'd be great at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically you're doing an impression of another.
You're doing
musician.
impression of another musician as they're doing some kind of banter in the concert. So your choice, Carl, is between Paul Stanley or Bruce Dickinson.
Oh, well, it's going to be Bruce Dickinson. You know.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm going to share my screen so that you can.
He's going to play you the clip.
Yeah. Let's see
The
if we
Bruce
can...
Dickinson rant.
Let's see if I can.
Wow, what a
find-
cumbersome game this is. You've taken up like a quarter of the show now. With
Yeah,
this.
Oh,
way to
shut
go,
up.
Montag.
What
Yeah.
All
a
right.
brilliant idea this was.
All right, here's Bruce Dickinson from Rock in Rio 2000.
What are you doing?
I'm playing this. Oh.
Britney fucking Spears.
Wait a minute, did it? This is not playing. Why? This is
Well,
not playing?
I for one am a little bit thankful it's not playing.
Yes.
If you thought Britney fucking Spears was fucking cool, take a fucking look
Oh, can you-
at you motherfuckers, you lame fucks!
Can you hear it now?
All right.
Okay, here we go.
Because this is fucking...
All right.
If you thought Britney fucking Spears was fucking cool, take a fucking look at us, you motherfuckers, you lame fucks! Because this is fucking metal, and it ain't fucking cool, and we're gonna tear your fucking heads off!
All right. There it is.
So now you
Yeah.
have to.
There's no way any of us are ever going to top what Bruce just did.
I know.
It's mega and
This is your
awesome.
best Bruce impression. You can do it, Carl. We have faith in you.
You don't have to do the whole.
I've been doing an impression of myself. Like, if you guys ask me to do an impression of myself, I wouldn't be able to do that.
We will. Well, we got an impression for you at the end of the show. We're certainly going to ask you for that. But for now, can you do Bruce's rant at Rock in Rio?
Just pass. Just go ahead and pass.
Yeah, I'm going to pass that ball to
Oh, Dreadbull, you cunt.
top,
Oh, man. Give him the out.
Fucking Spears was cool. You know, it's good.
right? So we're kind of laid out like Hollywood squares, right?
Right.
You're there. So I can pass down and diagonal.
Your
All
idea,
right.
Montag. You do
This
it.
is a great idea. You know it's great.
I picked up the
This is
fumble.
a
Okay.
train
It's
wreck.
okay.
All right. Well, here's one that you
Carl would
really
rather
like.
get electrocuted in the lips than have to go through this.
All right. Okay. Now this is a good one. I think you're going to be all right with. This is called Name That Festival.
I like this.
All
All right. Your band Nile is playing a festival with two other artists. I'm going to spin the wheel of mystery to find those other two bands. Then I'd like you to name the festival that you're all playing at. That makes sense?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Let me.
You'll see the
let me-
big wheel come up.
Yeah. Where
This
is-
one can be kind of
Does it
fun.
have to be, or am I making one up?
You'll make up the
No,
name
you're
of the
gonna, you're
festival
gonna, you're
based
gonna
on
make
the,
up the festival.
based on the
Okay.
bands that are going to be in it.
All right. Can you see the wheel?
Not yet.
Well, see, the four of you have just moved up to the top,
The wheel
and
isn't
Montag
loading.
starts a
Oh, there it
blank
is.
screen. All right, here.
Do you see it?
All right. I see.
Okay, I'm gonna spin the first band that's playing with Nile at this festival. Who can it be? Who could it be? Oh,
The
the Shags.
Who the hell are the
Nice.
Thanks.
They were a sibling group, some sisters who got together and they didn't know how to play their instruments, and their dad forced them to play, and they
that's
recorded an album. You know, foot.
Okay,
pedal,
I've
foot,
seen
foot.
clips
Yeah.
from that.
Oh yeah. So we got the Shags, and who else is playing with Nile on this most incredible festival?
Interesting festival.
Yeah. And it looks like
Oh, and Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd.
Oh, wow.
Okay, Pink Floyd and the Shags and Nile.
I'm going to assume the Shags are opening.
Yeah, we're somewhere in the middle. Which is
Right.
in the middle.
So-
I'd rather gone early or late, but in the middle, you just get fucked.
Shags and Pink Floyd and Nile are playing at a festival together. What is the name of that festival?
The Montague Fest.
That
All
was
right.
easy.
There
Nice.
you go. Thanks.
Very good.
Oh, Mania. That's the fest. Montague Metal Mania. Yeah.
Nice.
Triple M Fest.
Yeah, and I want a Shag shirt, for sure. Yeah, they still play. They still get together and play. That album is something to hear. That's for sure.
I've never heard of the Shags. I thought you were. But
No,
there's
just go on Google, YouTube. Just type in the Shags. They have a whole album. Like I said, they didn't know how to play their instruments. There's a drummer. There's one sister playing on guitar, and they sing. They make up these songs like "Foot Foot," "My Little Foot Foot." It came out of the '60s, I think. Yeah, it's their dad wanted them to be successful. He saw the Jackson 5 and he says, you girls are going to be successful like that. And they're like, Dad, we don't know how to play our instruments. He's like, I don't care. I'm going to buy you instruments and we're going to record a record. He paid all this money to have this record recorded. They just played live, didn't know how to tune their instruments. It is a horrific train wreck, but it is somehow, it's magical. It's transcendent.
Like Montag's first game. Like, that's how bad it is.
That's a fucking great game. You know it's great.
It would be a great game if we had like our old tour manager, Punchy Juan Gonzalez, was a master of impressions. He could have done the shit out of this game. So yeah, it is a good game, except I have no talent for impressions.
I think that would be half the fun. But yeah, it's hard to top Bruce. So that's all right. That's all right.
Carl is a really kind guy.
Yes,
Thank you, Carl.
Yeah.
Unlike us. Yeah.
We've known each other way too long to
way
be
too
kind
long,
anymore.
man. Over 40 some years.
We're way past fucking nice.
That's that. Yeah, it's just nut shots every time. There's just no more politeness. It's just like right uppercut to the Johnny Cakes. Okay. Halloween is coming, Carl. What are some of your favorite movies that you like to watch during for Halloween season?
The original Halloween. Yeah. How do you go wrong with that? I'm a Romero fan, right? It's when, like, 1969, by the time Night of the Living Dead made it to Saturday night reruns on our local television station, every Saturday night was like horror night, right? But I would have been like 5, right? So when I saw Night of the Living Dead, I was a very impressionable child. And my parents should not have let me watch this because I had nightmares for months. Yeah, so that movie is actually still profoundly gets me, right? Just the whole vibe of it. The loss of humanity. Yeah. So there you go. I like Romero.
All right. As a kid, do you remember like your favorite Halloween costume? Like what do you like to dress up as most?
I wanted to be a soldier, so I made my mom get me a uniform that was child size, so I could be a soldier on Halloween.
Nice. And the last Halloween question. What's your favorite Halloween candy? When you were a kid trick-or-treating, what was your favorite candy to get?
I don't remember. I don't remember what my favorite candy was on Halloween. Don't remember. I do remember, though, we lived in South San Francisco. So when we brought our candy home, my mom would inspect it, looking for razor blades and poison and whatnot.
Yeah, we had the same thing.
There was always
the local hospitals would say, we'll x-ray your candy for you if you want. And then you're eating all this irradiated candy,
Yeah. What a world we live in.
Yeah, right. We got just a few more questions. I know our time is slowly running out. It's sad, but let's just question about fandom. We're all fans of other artists, and we like collecting things by them. What is your favorite piece of memorabilia?
I have a guitar strap from Enslaved that Grutla gave me. Yeah.
Nice.
Do you use it, or do you just display that?
No, it eventually rotted because it was uncured leather. So that was 1999 that he gave it to me. So
same year of the electrocution. Coincidence?
It was a busy year.
I get electrocuted and I get a guitar strap.
There were some real ups and downs that year, apparently.
Yeah.
Talk about extremes.
Yeah. Well, we follow you all on social media, and we see that you are in the midst of recording a new Nile album, which is super exciting. So can you tell us what is happening with that, or what can you tell us about the new Nile album?
Well, we start actually recording drums in October. So right now I'm just about finished with the writing. We got 11 songs on the board. Probably can't see my war board from here, but just on the other side of that door is a big dry erase board with all the fucking song titles for the new Nile record. I think I'm gonna write hopefully 2 more before George and I start. We're gonna be re-recording it at his place in Corinth, Greece.
Oh, nice.
Right on the beach. He's
Oh,
50
wow.
meters from the fucking beach.
Wow, that sounds
In
horrible.
Greece. Holy cow.
Wow.
I'm sure there's also a bar right there, right next to where he's at. So
So in other words,
Yeah,
you're
it's
not
just
going to
gonna be-
tour. You're just going to stay in Greece. No touring
Oh,
this
yeah.
time around.
Yeah, we're just touring Greece a
tour.
lot. Oh, nice. Oh,
Oh,
that's
that's great.
awesome. We're excited about that.
Very much.
So far, are there any particular themes that you're writing about or that are coming out as opposed to violent melodic rights? I mean, as far as the direction of the songwriting? Too early to
it's
tell yet.
no, it's absolutely the right time to tell. It's, I got 11 songs on the board, so I know it. I know this record. It's darker and more ferocious. We've had 2 years
Wow.
of being cooped up, working on stuff with nothing else to do but fucking woodshed. So there's a lot of pent up ferocity in these songs, in the playing. So it's some of the most ambitious and vicious playing.
That's
Yeah,
saying a lot.
It is. That's like
That's
Jesus.
saying
The
a lot.
last, I mean,
Yeah.
violent melodic rights was just so good.
Yeah, it melted my face off. I wonder what this one's gonna do.
Like, wow. Okay.
Oh,
That's
exciting.
amazing.
Thank you.
That's awesome. We're very excited to hear
A
that.
quick,
so.
just a quick question along those. As you get older, do you feel like, are you still able to tap into that ferocity and that viciousness when it's time to write and record and play? Is it harder as you've gotten older? Most people mellow out a little bit as they get older, or is it still there 100% when it's time to go?
Yeah, a 59-year-old teenager.
Gotcha. Yeah, we can relate.
Yeah, we're not quite teenagers. We're a little more. We're adolescents. I think that's
Yeah,
probably what it
Yeah,
is.
we're
Yeah.
preteen.
Somewhere between 8
Yeah.
and 12.
Right, we're tweeners.
Yeah, preteen.
Right. Yeah. Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it
awesome.
certainly shows in your music. Like there's no mellow, there's
Yeah.
no mellowing out happening there.
No, not yet. I got a side project to be mellow.
Right,
And
exactly.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
it's deceptively quiet, but that's just like the part in the horror movie where
Mhm.
things seem to be okay for a moment, but that evil is right on the other side of the door.
Yeah,
Nice.
I love your idea of mellow. It's still dark and
Yes,
brooding
and
and
right.
evil, but mellow at the same time. So that's the best kind of mellow.
You guys see a recent film called The Black Phone, I think it was.
Oh, yeah, love it.
Haven't seen
Yeah,
it.
Chop Top likes it. Yeah,
Yeah,
haven't seen it yet.
Dude, what a great movie.
what a great cast. And the kids in that movie too were fantastic. That was just,
I know. Dude, so gripping. I was
Yeah.
like just riveted in there the whole time.
I rented it and I watched it like 4 or 5 times, Carl. So I really
Wow.
I loved it.
Got your
Yeah,
money's worth.
Yep.
No.
Betcha.
Carl, we made this mistake last time. Actually, having you on was the inspiration for us asking this last thing because when we're hours up. Can we ask you for a bumper? Can you say this is Karl Sanders of Nile? You're watching and listening to heavy metal horror, and when you say heavy metal horror, can you do it in your death metal growl? We would just love that so much.
All right, let's see if I got this right. All right, so I'm Carl.
You Carl.
You're Carl. You're Carl.
You're listening to heavy metal horror.
You're watching and listening to heavy metal horror, and then do your death metal growl when you say heavy metal horror.
I gotta pull the microphone up here.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be good.
Here we
This
go.
is gonna be good.
Thank you. We've been waiting. We've been waiting like 16 fucking months for this.
After the show was over, we're like, damn, we should have asked him to do like a little bumper for us and do that death metal
think
growl.
about it.
That would have been the
first
best.
interview.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you
All right.
joined us in. You joined us when we said heavy metal horror when we did our outro. When we heard you do your death metal growl, we're like, but a bumper? Oh yeah. Okay, so I'll leave it to you.
You should never have trusted me. This is Carl from Nile, and you are watching and listening to the heavy metal.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
That's
We've been waiting so long for that. That's awesome.
yeah. That's great. We didn't ask before because we're out of time, but how do you take care of your throat on the road? Seriously, like how do you just not blow your throat out every night?
Well, you got to cut back on the drinking. You got to drink water. You got to go to bed at night. The human throat needs two very important things: actual water, actual hydration, and fucking sleep. If you can take care of those two things and don't get sick, getting sick doesn't help you because, you know, once you have like stuff draining down your throat all night, it gets really hard to sing the next day. So don't get sick, which the icky part of that, the icky truth is if you enjoy saying hi to the fans, shaking hands, meeting people, being friendly, if you enjoy that normal human part at all, well, that's where every bit of tour sickness comes from, is the combination. It's like you're the focal point of every germ that happened to be in the building that people, of course, have no idea that they're carrying because, you know, dude, we're people. And people share germs, whether they realize they're doing it or not. And I never was a germaphobe, and I'm probably still not, but that's the truth of it. You will get sick on tour just from being a decent person, shaking hands, saying hello. There's a price to be paid for it. And the price is you're probably going to get sick. As soon as you get sick, your voice is the first thing to go.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many tours I've had to do where halfway through I'm sick and I'm supposed to, you know, roar like a beast, but all that comes out is a little mouse squeak. That's no fun.
Yeah.
That's not fun. That's not the way I envisioned.
Well, like vile melodic squeaks, right? It doesn't have the same ring, right? Oh, listen, Carl, we know you gotta go. I want to thank you again for showing up, spending your time with us, doing a great bumper, and just for being a good sport with everything. So thank you again for being with us.
You guys are so much fun. I really feel kinship and brotherhood with you guys.
Oh, well, that means so much.
Evan.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
please, you're welcome to come back anytime when the new record's out. Please just stop by or say, hey, here's the new record or something. But we're going to get out of here and we're going to invite you to bring up the horns. So, hey, you can find Heavy Metal Horror at unsaneradio.com, listen to full episodes or download to your device. You can find us on Facebook, Heavy Metal Horror Podcast. On Instagram, look for Montag Lewis, one word. Our YouTube page, Heavy Metal Horror Podcast. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And we're on Roku, Hotel Metal Jam. If you know someone who'd like our show, tell them about us. This has been Montag, Master of Illusion.
Chop top.
Dreadbull.
And you are watching and listening to, all right, Carl, bring up the horns. Heavy Metal Horror.
You killed the mic.
Yeah, it was just
That
like,
so
it was just
brutal.
cutting out.
Oh, great. Carl.
Yeah,
Thank you,
that's
thank you.
awesome. That's great.
This is Doug Helvering, and you have been listening to Heavy Metal Horror.
the best podcast that you've never heard before?